Alright guys, so welcome along to Netherlands for the Dutch GP. So just a little fun race I think the guys are doing for today just to get some practice on for this track. So not too many drivers are going to be on, so let's gonna have a look at how well these guys handle the track, given the way that they do drive, which we saw yesterday from both tiers, from tier 1 and tier 2. Should be an interesting session overall. So let's see, we do have a McLaren already out on track. It is one heck of an interesting exit on this pit lane in terms of driving with all the assist off, so it's always interesting to see how the guys take it. So we'll be doing a short qualifying, and then I think it's going to be a 50% race, so it should be an interesting one. Provide a lot of practice for these guys as well. Just to note guys, this event wasn't planned in terms of me streaming. I was just around and saw the guys were getting on, so that's why I'm on streaming it. So currently just 5 guys on track. I'm not sure if anyone else will be joining the session by the time we get to the race. It is just a short qualifying, so 18 minutes, and that is already down to 16 minutes left, as we're gonna start to see some lap times being posted here pretty soon. So it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of lap times we're gonna be seeing on this track, provided what we have seen before from other leagues, other drivers. Hey Retro, what is up? Nice to have you on. So I think Tram has started his lap, messed that up just a little bit there. Let's see who else is on. I think the Bespoke is on, running his hot lap right now. We're just gonna get on board with at least someone in just a few minutes, just to have a full on-board view. And he's doing some purple sectors. There's no lap times posted yet, so anything you do will probably just be purple for right now. But overall, still, I would say we're looking to see some maybe 1 minute 10 seconds, 1 minute 11. If you can go down to some 109s, be interesting to see how fast these guys are around the track. I think Sid Kid and Jake are still in the pits. I'm not sure if Jake is already out, as I think I do see his car out of the pits. Oh yeah, he is out on an out lap right now. So that is the best spawns with a 113. That's my kind of lap time, so it'll be interesting to see if they can actually do better than that. I think these guys are faster than me, so I'm quite sure they'll do better than that. We'll also get to have a look at what the race space time is going to be with this league. So when we do get to the Dutch Grand Prix for the season race, it should be an interesting one for both Tier 1 and Tier 2 to see how everyone performs with it. Tram had a horrible lap there with a 133. I think the Kunhai is on his lap right now. Just gonna follow his car around and see how he does. Hey Deckerman, what's up? Just having a day today, streaming a race. I was gonna get online and stream something maybe from career mode today, but I think the league streaming is so much more better. It's so much easier. I mean, I just have to sit here and just look at what these guys are doing, enjoy myself and talk, instead of drive myself. Does limit me in lap time though, but I need to get some track time on. I'm good. I'm pretty good today. So this is my morning right now, watching some Formula. These league races have already compensated for Formula 1 for me since the year started. I'll be honest with you. Been having some changes to my work schedule, so I just have to fit everything around that. But it is a lot of fun to get to do this. I really don't like missing it, and that is him. Also, he made a 111.3 Decon there. Pretty good lap from him. I'm waiting to see if we're gonna get any one of these guys getting into those 110s. Oh, this is your afternoon. It's my let's see. Let's call it midday for me. It's like it's 11:08 a.m. for me here right now. About 6 hours difference. Yeah, it is 6 hours difference in terms of my time. And we're getting back on now. I'm actually supposed to be sleeping right now. I gotta work on night shift tonight, so I gotta sleep for at least most of the day. Instead, I'm watching a league race. This is so much fun. I'm much rather do this. Alright, so we're back on. Oh, and we got a 110 off of Jake. Pretty good time from him. Alright, let's see who's out. So no one currently out on track. 10 minutes remaining in this session. Sid Kid is yet to post any sort of lap time. We should be able to see something from him pretty soon though. Alright, so Kid is running his hot lap. In the meanwhile he does that, I will be back in just a quick minute or two, guys. Give me a second on that, as I'll leave it on Kid's cam going around the track. Okay, so back on. Sorry about that. So just under 4 minutes left. Let's see what's going on. So we had Ian MC joining the session. I think he's on a lap right now as we're following him around. He's now in sector 2 going. Let's see what kind of time he's going to make. So we got to 110. So it's Jake. Jake got a 110.5. Decona got a 110.9. Silkid with a 111. Trem with a 111.7. And Best Spawns with a 112.1. So just not a lot of time actually separating these guys from each other, which is quite interesting for Zandvoort here. It's a pretty fast-paced track, lots of fun to drive. One of the tracks I driven first when I got this game. So, and that is Best Spawns out of the session there. Something did happen to him down here in sector 2. So he's gonna have to stick with that 112.1. So just waiting to see what kind of time ANMC is going to put in, if he does get to put one in here, as I think he's on another lap because he invalidated the first one. There are quite a few corners on Zandvoort that is quite easy to just cut a corner and just invalidate your lap. So you got to just be a little bit careful in terms of how much of the curb sometimes you use to try and get around the turns as fast as you can. Then again, you don't want to be really losing time trying to avoid some of these things. Let's see, he comes across, goes P4 with a 111.3, pushing Trem down to P5 now, and Best Spawns now down to P6 for the start. Just under 2 minutes left. Let's see who else is running currently. Sikid is on another lap. I think Jake is as well. Trying to make sure nobody beats that 110.5. It doesn't look like Deacon is going to come out. He's going to be staying in or sticking with that. Pulls over, lets Jake get by. Jake is out of the session. ANMC is still running. And I think that's going to be it for qualifying here. So pretty interesting qualifying here at Zandvoort for these guys. I think that's it. Yeah, that's going to be it for it. I don't think anyone else getting out to do anything. Time is up anyway. So we're going to be heading straight into the race, which I think it is 50% from what I saw before we actually got started here. That's what it should be. Should be a good race. Let's see how strategy works itself out. So we got Jake starting on pole here with a 110.5 along with Deacona 110.9. So they're going to be in front row. Second row of the grid is going to be Sid Kid in P3 and ENMC in P4. Trem and Best Spawn starts on the third row. So let's see how well these guys perform here at Zandvoort. So we got 2 McLaren, a Williams, 1 Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, and 1 pink Mercedes. It's 1 black Mercedes, 1 pink Mercedes. Should be a good one. And both Mercedes on the front row for the start. So that is quite interesting as well. Let's see which Mercedes, makes it through. Alright, so we are doing a formation lap as the guys will go around the track just to warm the tires up, and then we'll get a good go as they get onto a start of the Dutch GP here at Zandvoort, Circuit Zandvoort as they call it. Should be an interesting start because with so few cars on track, just 7 drivers, we should be able to see everyone get around turn 1 on the overhead camera view. So let's see if everyone is going to get through alright. Or if we're going to have maybe a few incidents. I highly doubt it, but these guys drive pretty cleanly, but let's see how it goes. Alright, so they're about to get back onto the pit straight as Jake is a little bit out front, so his tires are going to be sitting on that track just a little more few seconds that he's going to probably like. But they will be getting started here very shortly because he doesn't have to wait on a full grid of cars to get started in this race. So that's going to be good on his end. As we can see, everybody lining up right now to get this race started. Alright, and here we go. Alright guys, so they're off for the Dutch GP here. Let's see who gets a better start. Looks like Jake has a pretty good start going down to turn 1. They kind of just tried to go a little bit wide on that, but didn't make it through on that occasion. Went off track just a little bit there. Let's see what's happening. Somebody went off track. That might have been, yeah, it was Deacon. He is now down at the back of the grid right now. Trem is all the way up into P2, started down at the back. Bespoke as well, got a good start, got up to P3, ENMC in P4, Sikil running P5, and MC running 6. Deacon might have suffered some wing damage from that collision down at the back with the, you getting into the wall just a little bit there. So we're just going to keep an eye on him to see if he's going to be pitting on this first lap. As we can see position changing on the left side of the board there. Shows who gained what and who lost the position. So Trem and Bespoke and ANMC, all 3 of them are both moved up 3 positions. Sitkit lost 2 positions. MC gained 1 and Deacon has lost 5 positions so far in this race. Alright, and we're just trying to make sure that the stats on screen are correct, as you know we do have that glitch that happens sometimes here. And that was a McLaren into the wall. That was Trem. Trem is now out of the session. As we're going to switch to see what tires everyone has started this race on. And we have a safety car, 7 cars racing, 1 car out, and we have a safety car on this track. Trem is out of the race, had an incident there, went into the wall just a little bit, broke off probably a lot of parts. So car is out of the session. Sitkit as well, now out of the session. We're not sure what happened with Sitkit and MC. I think everyone just retiring out of the session. We might be doing a restart, I'm not sure as yet. But let me just get confirmation of that. And we're doing a red flag restart. We are restarting the race. So stay tuned for that, guys. We'll be having that happen in just a second. So session is not over, guys. We're just doing a restart. We did have some issues happening there. Remember guys, this game still has a lot of bugs. Codemaster needs to work out, so we do have to account for that sometime. Okay, so we should be getting back to the restart in just a second. Okay, so we should be getting back started with the race any second now. I don't think we should be doing a formation lap back this round. We should be getting straight into the race session. Yep, we are. Alright guys, that is it. They are off. Let's see who's getting a better start. So Deacon is going to try and get Jake in the fourth corner, but just doesn't have enough room. Jake does cover him up just a little bit. That curb can be a little bit slippery that he just took there, but let's see how the rest of the grid is going. When that Mercedes goes around, I think that was Deacon going around there, getting back up into P2. Sitkid down to P3 right now. Trem running in P4. Alright, so just a few guys in this race, but it is always interesting to see a race on Zandvoort. So let's see what else is happening on track right now. Remember guys, the graphics just going to be a little bit messed up sometimes. McLaren Trem going for a move, got it done off of Sitkid, going down the run. I'm trying to keep that. Let's see if he can keep it going onto this turn. He does hold it on the racing line going through. Goes wide though on that turn. Sitkid might have a go back at him here. We're not sure as yet. Let's see. He is pretty close to have a go at him, so let's see if he can get that done with the next few corners at least, or on the pit straight. There's not going to be no DRS. He has to use all the overtake he has for now at least. Jake Guard's got a fastest lap, 1:16.4. Someone is already in the pits. I think that's ENMC. Might have had some damage on that first lap. Sitkid just in some sort of McLaren sandwich right now. Just trying to catch up to the one in front and keep the one behind. Gap out front is about 1.9 seconds. 2 seconds now is the gap between Jake and Deacon, who's now in second there. Trem running another 1.6 seconds behind. Sitkid and Bespoke are so pretty close together. Trem is also just right there in front of them. So this is a three-way battle right now for P3. And let's see if the Bespoke can get a good move done. Sitkid seemed to have made just... Oh, and that's so close. Almost hitting the rear tires of Sitkid. Barely breaking in time. Let's see if he's going to try and get a move done pretty soon here. But he is going to have to look for the best opportunity to get it on. Trying to get it on the outside. Let's see if he can get it done using all the curbs. Might have clipped a very small part of that front wing just for a second. I'm not sure if he did. Bespoke seems to be held up just a little bit by Sitkid right now. He's going to try and have a go at him. Going down here. And let's see if he can get it done into turn one. He does get it done, but Sitkid is coming back at him. Let's see if he can get it back though. I'm not so sure he can at the moment. He might have to hold back just for a little bit with MC just behind him as well there. Okay, so I think Trem is getting pretty close to Deacon now. He is catching up, so some decent pace from Trem in this race right now at this track here. So let's see, doesn't go too wide this time. Tries to keep it on track as much as he can. Yeah, there is usually a video delay between what's happening if you're watching it live in the lobby compared to when you're watching the stream. I'm not sure why that is. I can see the delay on my side here as well. It's always a delay for some reason. I'm not sure why. It's usually about somewhere between 5 to 10 to 15 seconds sometimes the delay is. Usually about 5 to 10 seconds, I know it usually is. Yeah, it does sound a little bit off there. Why that is, I'm not sure. Because the commentary should be going straight with what's happening on track here at the moment. Yeah, but we'll get some better internet later on and hopefully fix these sort of issues. It's something I'm trying to work out right now in terms of keeping the commentary directly with the stream when it goes on the live stuff anyway. But yeah, we're working with it for now. Let's see who is running where. So just some minor gaps building up right now, just over a second. Most of the gaps are Best Spawns has about 2.8 seconds to catch up there. Trem is trying to keep that gap under a second between him and Decona right now. I'm not sure how much he's gonna have to push to try and catch up, but it is a 50% race, sorry, so 36 laps. Starting off soft, they're gonna have to do a 2-stop on this one. Definitely is gonna be a 2-stop. No way you're doing a 1-stop on this track here for starting on softs. Going mediums hards, maybe there's a chance you can actually pull that off, but your tires are going to be a little bit short, plus you're not going to have the pace that you really want, and this is not a track that you want to be running with slow tires on. Oh, and that is Trem just losing it back end of his car, spinning it around, trying to get back on going. MC gets past him there. And he has, oh, Sitkid just go past him as well. I'm not sure if there was any contact on that overtake there, but shouldn't have been. Should be fine. He doesn't seem to have any damage. He's still going now, running in 6th. ENMC down in 7th after having to take a pit stop on the first lap. He's about 33 seconds behind everyone else. I gotta give the stream a listen back to see how much the delay is in terms of me doing a commentary with it, because I am trying to avoid that happening. But I'll have a look back at the stream to see what's going on. Usually I don't get a chance to always look back at it, but I'll have a look and see what's happening. Usually it is you know, and like the same time frame as what's happening on stream, but sometimes it just goes off. I guess it depends. Maybe it's the internet too. Who knows? I'm not sure. Alright, let's see. Let's go back here. So Trem trying to catch up to Sitkid. Gap is about 1.5 seconds. Not that hard to break down, but then it does depend on the driver in front of you how much space they do have on this sort of track, because there's not a lot of straights at Zandvoort. Some pretty winding turns, if you could say, you call it that. And I think the longest straight we have is on the pit straight where the starting grid is. That's about it. So you got to really be able to maneuver these turns and handle your ERS and your fuel to just save tires as well, because this track does use up just a bit of your tires as you go, and if you do get a bad exit out of a turn, it's really going to affect your performance in terms of catching the car in front of you. As we're just having a look at Trem right now, trying to get Sitkid, as gap out in front is now 3.1 seconds. So pretty close battle going on between Sitkid and Trem here. Now let's see if Trem is going to be able to get a move down coming when they do get around to the pit straight coming here now, and we're going to have a look on the overhead view to see what's going to happen. He is getting DRS. That's going to help him out a lot. There's a little bit of overtake to use, and he is going to try and use it. It doesn't seem to be close enough to get it done into turn 1. Going to have to just chase Sitkid around just a little bit more. ENMC does seem to be breaking down his gap, getting back closer and closer to these cars out front to try and put the fight back to them. Jake running a comfortable race with out in P1 out in front. They couldn't trying to catch him. 3.5 second. That gap is now not looking too good for him. MC another 7 seconds behind. He has some free air to run with at the moment until the Sitkin is going to be catching him. Trem is pushing extremely hard right now, trying to catch Sitkid, just not able to get it done. Does seem like Sitkid is making some minor mistakes, which Trem might be able to take advantage of. If he can get a good go at him, he has DRS on this occasion going here. Doesn't have a lot of overtake to use, gonna keep that overtake for now, and trying to remove in this one. Dive bombs into that turn on a little bit. It looks like he might have got it done, and yes, Sitkid. And it did seem like Sitkid just got disconnected, as did we. So that was not on my end. Apologies guys, we'll be getting back on any second now. The disconnection tends to happen usually when it's a lobby. I'm not sure why. Alright, so we're on lap 9, and I think some pit stops might have happened because we have Jake now down into P3 when he was running P1, and that's a McLaren spinning off. Whose McLaren was that? Probably Bespoke. I'm not sure if it was him, or that was probably Trem. I'm not sure as yet. Hopefully we didn't miss too much. Seems to be a pretty good battle going on in the midfield part of this race right now, as we only have 7 drivers between, I think, Sitkid, Trem. Between Sitkid and Trem, I'm not sure how far ahead Jake is. Not too far ahead actually there, as his time hasn't showed the NFL as yet. But yeah, Jake has pitted. Deacon has not pitted as yet. He's still running on his softs, 8 laps old, so he's trying to keep that lead and going to be trying to just go in and get out back and hopefully keep Jake behind him on this go, because he was running in P2 before we get disconnected there. I'm not sure how long more those tires are going to hold off. He might have to do a pit stop here pretty soon, because they're already 9 laps in, and Jake with a fastest lap of a 1:13.5, so he is using his new tires pretty well right now, trying to build, well, kind of decrease the gap that is between himself and Dikuna out front, so that when Dikuna goes in, he can come out back and still Jake can still be in front. But Dikuna is going to be trying for the opposite right now. He's going to have to just work those soft tires over time right now, as they're already worn out to a certain extent. But he's still going to try and push it. Let's see who's going to get that done. Let's see what's happening with Sitkid and Best Pawns down at the back here, also with Trem in the mix. Oh, and that is Sitkid going wide, hitting the oh, and he lost the position there to Best Pawns for that. Pretty interesting overhead view. So the 2 McLarens leads Sitkid out the front there now. So Sitkid running 6. Deacon is still out on those tires. Hasn't pitted as yet. MC will have to pit as well. So Jake is hoping to take back the lead from them. Sitkid goes into the pits. Let's see where Deacon is. He's still running out front. So definitely I know Deacon and MC have to pit. And the gap is so small. So Jake is hoping that he can get past them by the time they do get in the pit. I think he will, because he's not that far behind actually. He had a pretty decent gap building out in front. And he's now only 1.5 seconds behind MC. And MC is at 5.8 seconds behind Deacon, so that gap is not even over 10 seconds in total. So definitely Jake should be able to easily get back his lead here, depending on how hard he's pushing to, and he seems to be pushing pretty hard on those medium tires there. Sitkid is already pitted, so that leaves well, ENMC is running on hards. He pitted early in this race because he had an incident in turn early in lap 1 of the race, but I'm not sure those hards are going to last all the way to the end, so he's probably going to be taking up a different strategy, maybe running hards and then going back to softs down to the end of this race to get some decent pace. But we'll see how that works, because he is now 4 seconds behind Sitkid as Sitkid pits. Trem and Best Pawns already also will have to pit at this start on the soft, and they're gonna have to move on to the hards to try but it also depends how many stops these guys are trying to do here, because usually it's gonna be a 2-stop if you're doing soft, medium. I think the only way it can be a 1-stop if you can possibly pull off a soft to hard, or a usually easier for a medium to hard. And Jake just got past MC. MC has waited just a bit too long to pit. He's gonna have to try and pit pretty soon. He's tired, well, but he's running medium, so those tires can go quite a bit more before he does have to pit. And he's probably gonna try. And I'm not sure how many stops he's made before, but let's have a look at that. So MC hasn't made a stop as yet. So how far is he going to push to up mediums? I think he's going to be trying for a medium soft strategy here. It does seem that that's what's going to be happening. So Sidkid and MC already pitted. Jake already pitted. He's not going to be pitting again. He might be pushing those off as far as he can. But no, actually, I think he has to pit again. I don't think those softs are, those mediums, sorry, are going to last all the way to the end of this race. We're only on lap 13. So quite a bit way more to go. It's not a 25% race as these guys usually do in the league. So it is going to be interesting to see how strategy plays out here, because Deacon is holding out on his softs, running them 12 laps now. MC is running 12 laps on his mediums, and Bespoke is running 12 laps on his softs as well. So not too much of close battles going on, just a close gap between Jake and MC at the moment. But Jake just got past MC. He has more pace, he has fresher tires, and he's going to be able to keep that out in front. I'm not sure if MC is going to be able to catch up on those old tires. Okay, so let's continue along watching these guys, and let's see what the strategy is going to be here, because I find it pretty interesting to see that Deacon is holding out, as well as Bespoke. Who is holding it out on those soft tires right now, running it into 12 laps, now going to 13 laps with it. So what kind of strategy play are they doing? Are they really trying to pull off a soft to medium on this track by just doing a one-stop? Because if those softs can run about, let's call it about 14-15, let's call it, we're already there actually, we're calling 15 laps, and we go on to mediums, and the mediums definitely will be making it all the way to the end. So it's a pretty good play on strategy right now. What Deacon and Bespoke are doing, as Bespoke is now in the pits and he goes on to hards instead of mediums. So quite interesting to see that, because I would assume, and that is MC losing it just a little bit. Tires are probably giving him just a little bit trouble there now, losing some time as well behind Jake. So gonna be interesting to just follow along with Deacona out here in front, and let's see how he's doing. Jake is right behind him as he does come around the turn there. Invisible view, 3.3 seconds is the gap between the two of them. So Jake is definitely catching up right now, 3.2 seconds a gap, and Deacona pits. Let's see what kind of tires he's gonna be going on to. It looks like he's going on to hards, but let's have a look. This graphic sometimes just is a little bit different than we would like to see. So it is an interesting strategy to see. Now they're on to hards and they're going to go all the way to the end on that. So Jake running on 6 lap mediums, is he going to be able to push that all the way to the end? I'm not so sure. He might have to make another pit stop, which is going to cost him the lead of this race, because Deacon is not running hard, so has a little bit less pace than on mediums or so, but he's going to be able to catch up to MC and Jake within no time, because the gap is now between himself and the leader about 11 point something seconds. So it's going to be interesting to see how the strategy works itself out. So not really any close gaps to follow. The closest gap we have here, I think, is between the back 3 cars, between Bespoke, Sidkid, and ENMC. Oh, and that is Bespoke losing it again there on that corner. I'm not sure if the same corner lost it before, but these guys are they are driving full or all assists off. So it is not easy, I gotta be honest with you, because I really can't do it as yet without losing a lot of time in my lap times. So they're driving with all assists off, so it's not easy trying to keep that back end from sliding off from you sometimes. And I think some of these guys in the league are now getting used to driving with all the traction control and all braking assists off. So it's not always easy to do that, I gotta tell you. Deacon is running a pretty good strategy, so I can't say he's not for the win here, James. I think the strategy is pretty interesting, the one that he chose to go with here, because he pushed those softs really further than I would have expected him to, and just went onto the hards. And I don't think Jake is going to make it to the end on his mediums. He's already 7 laps old, and we still have quite a way to go, about at least we're about 20 laps more to go here. So definitely Jake is not making it to the end on those. He's going to have to make another pit stop for another set of mediums, and I don't think he's going to have enough pace or enough time to catch Deacon, who's going to be out front. But Deacon is going to have to work his way and try to get past Jake as fast as he can to build up a gap. But it is an interesting play, I gotta tell you that. Bespoke as well did a very similar strategy, but he had some difficulties there on track. He's now down into 6th. So I'm not sure how well that strategy is working out for him. ENMC made an early pit stop. He had to go on to hards, so I assume he probably will be making another pit stop, maybe going on to softs. I'm not sure what your opinion is on that, either softs or mediums. And he's going to go to the end, so I think he has a chance of not finishing in 7th. He could get further up the field if he does play this right and doesn't afford any sort of mistake, because he is currently right behind Bespoke going, as you can see Bespoke going out in front of him up the hill there he is in that McLaren, so he doesn't have any overtake at the moment, so he's going to have to try and save some overtake up, manage his fuel, and try to get DRS on Bespoke to get a move done, and then try to get to Sitkid up. Maybe 5th is the best he can do, or maybe even better, provided if these guys make any mistakes in front of him. I'm not sure as yet. Gap is pretty close between Trem and Deacon here now, so Trem might be fighting and Deacon makes a mistake. Trem might and Trem goes on the inside, gets that done very easily. Deacon is going to have to try and get that back. Both of them running on hards right now. Deacon has about 2 laps fresher tires, but can he get the move done back on Trem right away? I'm not so sure. They are just a little bit separated. So minor mistakes on this track are costing these guys really a lot in this race right now. And MC is into the pits. He is on hards coming back out, so let's see where he comes back out now, as these guys just went past the pit lane here. We got Bespoke chasing down Sitkid. Bespoke seems to be having some pretty decent pace, but he does seem to be making some minor errors sometimes. Sitkid is trying to hold it out in front of him now as we go on board with Bespoke. Let's see how well he can do to try and catch up and get past Sitkid. And that is Sitkid into the wall. He is out of the race. So sorry to see that happen, but he is out. Just pushed it just a little bit too hard there, I think. But that is him out of the race. So that pushes ENMC up into 6th now. So ENMC is now going to be trying to catch up to Bespoke. And Bespoke is trying to catch up with Deacon. But Deacon and Trem are fighting it out right now for final podium position here. And so we're going to follow them around to see how that goes. Gap out in front. Jake has a 25-second gap between himself and MC. He has enough time to make another pit stop and get back out, but he's going to have to keep that gap building around 25 seconds until he does decide to make that pit stop and be able to finish the race on the tires that he goes and comes back out on. At this point, with 25 seconds being the gap between Jake and MC, I think it's possible Jake can get in, coming back on hards and go all the way to the end, running on hards, or same strategy as MC and Trem there, but it's all up to him right now as McLaren just loses it. That was Trem putting it into the wall. He has wing damage, definitely has wing damage. That's going to cost him. His teammate Bespoke is going to get past him on this one. So might ENMC, as you know, anything can happen in this race, so you always have to just be careful. Trying to keep his table on track to get back. He lets his teammate go by. And let's see where ENMC is coming behind him to try and get move done. He is only in sector 2, so a little bit of a way to go to get to the pit lane right now. So Trem is going to be falling all the way down to the back of the pack right now, which is in 6th, not that far back, but still losing a lot of time and positions here because of that silly mistake. So there goes ENMC. He's going to go by Trem right now, and he's going to be trying to catch up. But let's see what Trem is going to go switch on to. I think he's serving in 5 seconds. Oh, he's changing his front wing, sorry. We're just not able to see that. And he went on to medium, so he's going to have a little bit more pace than the guys in front of him. Of course, there's a lot of time to be broken down with about 16 laps remaining. He does have a lot of time to do it. So let's see how well he's going to be performing down at the back there. Trying to catch up to Ian MC and Best Spawns. As we go along with Decona here, who is about 5 or 6 seconds behind MC. So let's see if Decona can actually make the strategy work for him. As Jake is in the pits right now, he is probably switching. Let's see, he's going on to mediums. And he might have some damage, which you're fixing there, and gets back out. Oh, and MC is coming around the pit lane. This is going to be a close one. Let's see if MC is going to be taking the lead back away. Jake is out of the pits. Makes it out in time. Has MC right behind him now. So that's going to be a pretty good battle for P1. But Decona now 6 seconds behind these guys. So he's made his pit stop, Jake that is, and got back out. But he's now going to have to fight his way and keep it out in front. He has fresher tires. He has the faster tires. But does he have the pace to actually keep his car out in front for the remainder of this session? And that's Trem with a 3-second penalty there. I haven't noticed too many penalties being given out on this race, but we'll see how it plays out coming down to the end of it either way. So this gap pretty close out front between Jake and MC. And MC, I think, is trying to break the gap down to under a second. As he does a fastest sector 2, he is running some pretty good times on those hard tires. So he might have the pace to actually catch Jake and just steal that pole position from him. And that is MC with a 3-second penalty. So that's not going to go well, because he's going to have to now get 3 seconds further in front of Jake if he does pass him. I'm not sure if Jake has any penalties as yet, but have a look at that as we go. And that's the fastest lap on MC, a 1:13.1 for race pace there. Oh, getting a little bit close to that pit wall. Doesn't look like he took any damage. Still chasing down Jake. And he loses it, spins it, and he just messes the entire strategy up. He was so close to catching Jake. Has to let Decona go by because doesn't want to get into an incident with that, trying to spin back onto the track too fast. Now down with the P3, losing a lot of time in this race. Still on for being on the podium, but still MC is going to be kicking himself for losing that P2. He was so close to catching Jake and he had the pace to do it, just lost it going down there. It's been a lot of those happening throughout this entire session. I can see why the guys really wanted to practice this track and do this race. It's been a lot of fun to stream and watch. But let's see who else is close. We got ENMC about 2.5 seconds behind Best Spawns right now. Trem is now 17 seconds behind. He is so much further down. So that's a lot of time he's going to have to make up. Sid Kid once again out of the session. So sorry to see him out of the session there. So a gap decently building between a lot of these guys. So between Jake and Decona, it's currently 11.2 seconds. Let's see if that gap is currently going up or down as these guys race around. MC is another 3 seconds behind Decona right now. Let's see if he can actually catch up. I don't know. I'm not sure if he took any damage. It doesn't seem he has any damage on that front wing, so he seems to be good going. But he's and that was Decona losing it around the pit exit there. and he's going to be losing some more positions as Bespoke is now behind him and going to be trying to get past here as well. So a lot of minor mistakes happening throughout this entire session, and everyone just tries to take the most advantage that they can, and, you know, get them as much positions up as they can here. So Bespoke is now going to be chasing down Deacon for that position. Gap is 15 seconds, 16 seconds now between Jake and MC. I think Jake is trying to hold on to his P1 as much as he can, building that gap as much as he can there. Deacon is now going to have to try and catch back up to MC to get back that P2 if he wants it, and Bespoke is on for a good goal here. He's going to be trying for move on Deacon, trying for it right now, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hold it to this corner. No, he doesn't. He's going to have to hold on to P4 for now. Going around, he is pretty close. They're going to be trying for a good goal, or have a good go on it on the pit straight coming up very shortly here. Taking it on the inside, has a good go. Oh, he already got that done pretty smoothly for Bespoke, if I can say so. I'm not sure if Deacon has some damage. He's going to go in. I think he has wing damage. Oh, that was a very fast pit screw. So they're changing the front wing. He's going on to another set of mediums. And he's getting back out. ENMC was all the way down at the back of the field. He had to pit on the first lap. He is now up into P4 running in this race. And let's see how well he's going to do, because he's still on those hards that he switched onto by the time of lap 2. He switched onto hards, and he's been running on that for the entire race. So he's been on there for 22 laps now. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be able to hold on to these tires, as they might be showing, oh, they're showing some significant wear from my view here, if you guys can see that, in terms of if you play a lot of F1, you'll know when you look at the tires that you can actually see the wear on the tires. So those tires are pretty worn, as you can see right now. So he's going to have to be careful along a lot of these turns, and he's definitely going to have to try and make a pit stop maybe here, because I'm not sure he can push it another 10 laps. There's absolutely no way he's going to be able to do that. So he's definitely going to be switching. Most likely, I would choose to switch on soft, because we saw these guys push soft tires way over 10 laps. We have just about 10 laps remaining in the race. So he's going into the pits. No, not as yet. He's doing another lap on them. 13 seconds is the gap between him and Trem behind. So I think he's worried about Trem and Deacon getting past him when he does do this pit stop, as he doesn't seem to be pushing his car too much right now, because he's just a bit worried about what kind of performance he's going to have around these turns. He is pretty close to Bespoke out in front, but just not able to close that gap. That gap is actually building as we do go around here, as Deacon gets I think someone gained the position. I'm not sure who that was for a second there. Yeah, that gap is building between ENMC and Bespoke there right now. So ENMC losing a lot of time on those worn hard tires. He's gonna have to pit whether he likes it or not. I don't think he's gonna be able to make it down to the end, but if he really does make it down, I gotta say congratulations to him, because that's gonna be an epic accomplishment to push hard tires all of those laps. It depends on how well he manages his tires as well. You never know. It's always a possibility here. But let's see how he does, and if he does go into the pit or not. I'm not sure if he's going as yet. Nope, he's still going on those tires, so we're still going to have a good race going with that. But if he does push them to 100%, those tires are going to blow, and that's going to cost him the race. So Jake comfortably out in front, running right now. Tires he has on our mediums, 5 laps old, and he is 18 seconds in front of MC, the guy who's running P2 in a Ferrari right now. And behind MC and running in P3 we have Bespoke. That's about 10.8 seconds behind. So everyone in the top 3 quite evenly spaced out, you gotta say, at least. And ENMC running another 4 seconds behind Bespoke, which I assume he should be taking a pit stop if he wants to finish this race here. I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to actually push it all the way down to the end, but let's see how that goes. It could be he's trying to do that by saving the tires as much as he can, and just trying to keep that car in P4. And then we have Deacon down here in P5. Had some very bad stuff happening to him in this race. Was running way out in front behind Jake. Had a very good chance at getting the pole for this race, but that got a little bit away from him. He's now running P5 on mediums. I assume he'll be able to catch ENMC and get him because he's on such worn tires. But ENMC running a pretty damn good race down in P4 there. But let's see if Deacon can actually get it down, break the gap down. And Trem running 6 seconds behind Deacon right now. So Trem is another one to look for here, as he might be trying to get Deacon for P5. So running on lap 29 right now of this race. Gap is still about 18 seconds between P1 P2 right now. Still about 11 seconds behind Bespoke and MC. And surprisingly, ENMC is keeping the gap less than 5 seconds between him and Bespoke and keeping Deacon about 15 seconds behind. So he is driving pretty well on these worn tires and doesn't seem to be interested in going into the pits. I'm not sure if he's going to be making a move for the pit lane anytime soon here. See that there's just about 7 laps left to go. He might want to try and push these tires all the way to the end, but those tires are so severely worn, as I can see here. I'm not sure how he's finding the traction and grip on this track, as there's so many turns and at such an angle, it's so easy to lose it. Of course, Deacon does seems to now be catching him. Gap is now 13 seconds, so ENMC has lost 2 seconds with Deacon behind him now. So with 7 laps left to go, if Deacon can actually break that gap down a few seconds every lap, he's going to be able to catch ENMC, provided he's not going to be pitting. Yeah, he is actually being very careful around these turns, so he knows what he's doing right now. Pretty good and good driver, I gotta say. Let's see how Trem is running out at the back here. So guys, for everyone watching, for the race that we did yesterday with Slydog Racing League, they're an Esports Formula 1 league. They're sponsored by Gray's Bespoke, printing and embroidery specialist. So they have 2 tiers, tier 1, tier 2, and they do one-shot qualifying for their tier for the first race that they do. They do 2 races for every week. So, and it's only 25%, so the races go pretty quickly, and it's such a fast-paced race that you have so many battles happening on track. As we saw yesterday, if you didn't have a look at the race, do check it out. It's in the same playlist as this one is going to be. But yeah, the first race goes so well that, you know, they do a one-shot qualifying, and you either make a lap or you're not going to make it, and you got to make the best lap that you can in that one shot that you have. And then they do a 25% race, and the second race goes for a reverse grid for the top 10, which is so interesting. Compared to what we've seen from other leagues. So hopefully we're free every Monday to do this. As far as I know, I'll be free next Monday as well to be streaming the next 2 races for both the tiers, and I think we're making some arrangements to have someone from tier 2 join me for the tier 1 stream to help me out with commentary here. I mean, I don't mind doing myself, but it's always fun to have one of the drivers on, so you guys can actually hear from them, and they actually help me follow the battles on this track. So, and I think I'm seeing some rain as I'm talking here right now. Yeah, definitely I'm seeing some drizzle, so that's definitely going to affect some performance on tires right now. As ENMC does decide to pit, he might have saw that rain. If you have rain, that means the track temperature is dropping. Tire traction and grip are going to be less, and you're not going to have as much as you expect. So definitely it's starting to rain. So it's very light drizzle at the moment. So let's see if this is going to actually change the outcome. And ENMC chooses to go on to Inters. I don't think that was a good call for this. But then it does depend. Oh, Deacon is out of the session. He's lost it into a wall. So it does depend on how fast the rain is coming down. So if it is coming down pretty fast, then it's going to be a pretty good move on ENMC's end to go on to the Inters here. But we're just following along with him. He's not going to have perfect grip on this lap going. Maybe in a lap or 2 more time, he's going to have a lot more traction than everyone else. But if he's not having enough grip, then it might have been the wrong call. But of course, it does seem to be the right call, because Jake as well has pitted, went on to Inters because of the light rain. So the rain does seem to be coming down pretty significantly now. which means that this was a correct move from these guys. Sometimes the rain does come down just a little bit, so it's not always necessary to go on to the intermediate tires, but these guys just made the correct move. MC is also in the pits, went on to inters as well, so which means we're on a safety car because of that incident with Deacon here. So he is out of the race, and we're under a safety car. We might be going up to lap 34, or at least lap 34 or 35 with the safety car here, and finishing the last 2 laps of the race running in wets. So rain has come down pretty significantly on the track. That safety car is driving significantly slow, which I'm quite sure Jake is also saying in his mind, like, speed up really already. And we have MC trying to catch up. This is going to change a lot of things in the race here now, because MC is now going to catch up right to behind of Jake. Bespoke as well is trying to catch up. Everyone has pitted and gone onto the intermediate tires now. So this is something that was a bit unexpected. I'm not sure how well the car setups that these guys have are going to run in the wet, but running on intermediate is going to be something you are seeing here for this track at least. Let's see how well these guys are going to drive with a little bit of a slippery track. Now remember, it's not full wets, so we don't need full wet tires. Of course, that's a lot more slippery. Track is already really wet there, so it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen when this race gets started again. As we're going to just switch the overhead view and have a look at these guys as they do continue racing around. Well, not racing, just following each other, and no one can overtake under the safety car. They have to decrease speed by at least 40%, follow that safety car around. Make sure you don't hit the car in front of you, as I usually tend to do. And I've said it before, it's not easy driving under the safety car, as MC getting pretty close to Jake here. We're not going back racing as yet, but MC doesn't want to lose a single second here right now. So as these guys follow the safety car around, we're just waiting for a restart to happen when the safety car goes in. Bespoke is catching up to them as well, as this is what the view usually is like from a driver's perspective, with all of that water being, you know, from the car in front of you, and that's how the view you get. It's pretty vague. You're not always able to see pretty much what's happening in front of you. And let's see who else is got. Let's see if ENMC. I think he should have enough time to actually catch up. So should Trem. They should all be able to catch up and bunch up the 5 of them and get started behind the safety car, at least by the time the end of lap 34, I assume. And ENMC using some of his overtake just to try and catch up just a little bit. But in case you, I'm not sure if you guys have noticed it, but you know, when it's wet and you're driving, overtake button using the ERS is a lot different in the wet than it is in the dry. So Jake running P1, MC running P2, Bespoke running P3, ENMC running P4, now catching up to the safety car queue, and Trem running in P5. It should be catching up to the safety car queue by the time we get restarted at the end of this lap, which I think that's when we should be getting restarted, as these guys are all so close to each other right now. Let's have a look on the overhead view as they do go around. Let's see if Trem is, and Trem might have some damage. He has some problems here. Definitely has some. I think he lost his front wing. He's gonna have to pit. Definitely has to pit, and hopefully can get out back in time and catch up with these guys before the race gets started again. He might have just lost out here. Let's see if he can catch up back in time. As you all know, guys, everyone who plays the game, it's not easy driving in the wets, and not every driver who's good in the dry is going to be good in the wets. He's going to have to hurry it up and try to catch back up to that pack as fast as he can. 46 seconds behind. That's almost half a lap. A little bit over half a lap as he's going to be going out now. We're going to follow his car around. Hopefully he doesn't crash it out again and gets back up to a queue pretty fast, as the queue is now going through sector 2 of the track. He has enough time. I think he's going to be able to catch them by the time they get restarted onto this race. He's going to have to hurry it up. safety car in this lap, just confirm on race control, so definitely he has to hurry that up, get back behind the safety car queue and get back racing with everyone if he wants a chance to get better than 5th right now, which he has a chance of getting it if he can actually catch up, which I think he might be able to do. But the safety car queue is coming down to an end as they go into sector 3 now. Safety car is pulling away, as we can see on the map there, with Jake out in front just holding guys back, and they are about to get back racing. I don't think Trem is making it back in time. Let's go back out to the front and see what's going to happen here, as they have to wait until they cross the line to get back racing, which they're about to do. And MC is about to have a go on Jake. Coming down into turn 1, everyone holds their position as is. No one pushing too hard for a move at the moment. It is wet, it is slippery. ENMC just right behind Bespoke right now. Trying for a little move on the outside, goes wide, doesn't take any damage, but he's good. He's going to be coming back again for it. Oh, and Bespoke's getting off track just a little bit there. It is very slippery on this track. These guys are going to have to be careful. As Bespoke goes off track, he's going to leave chance for Trem to catch him up now. Close gap between Jake and MC right now. Trem still down in P5 though, not able to catch up to his teammate Bespoke as yet. So McLaren not having a good day today here. ENMC all the way up into the podium now, starting all the way down at the back. He's all the way up here, so he's run a pretty decent race, and the safety car worked out pretty well for him too, I gotta say. MC is still trying to catch Jake, trying to have a go at it on the pit straight. He is getting it done, does take a racing line. Let's see if Jake can come back and get it back done on turn 1. He is pushing on the inside, might get it. Let's see if he can actually hold it coming through. And does seem to get it back. MC has to settle back for that second position as we are on the final lap of this race, and these guys are going to fight it out going down all the way down to the end of lap 36 here at Zandvoort. So what a heck of an interesting race we've had, coming down to the end of having light rain, getting everyone changing tires, coming down the last few laps, safety car down at the end of the race as well. I think MC is going to be chasing Jake all the way to the finish line here. So penalties is what's going to be playing out coming down to the end, as we're going to have a look at these guys coming around across the line pretty soon. They're in running in sector 2. Bespoke has lost some time, was 6 seconds behind now, with ENMC behind him in 4th. So ENMC lost a position on that one there. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to catch it back. Let's see how far. He's a bit far back. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do that. Oh, as MC gets so close to Jake, and Jake is barely holding on right now. He's going to have to hold it until they get to the finish line here. And let's see if he can do it. Coming around the final corner here, I think here now. Yes, they are. Let's see who gets a gun. Oh, and Jake. Oh, and MC loses it. He's into the wall, and Jake comes across, crosses the line. P1. Jake, MC lost it. Let's see. I don't think he's gonna make P2. Bespoke makes P2. ENMC comes across P3 still. MC still on track. He might be coming last in this race. Oh, and try to block off Trem. I'm not sure how well that worked out for him. Oh, MC finished 4th. Trem still finished 5. So penalties probably played out here. Driver of the day, Bespoke. Congratulations to him. Now that was an interesting race, I gotta say that. And let's see how the final table shows up, as it did finish. So only 7 drivers in the race today, guys, but it was so much of an interesting race here, and just 2 guys not able to finish. Sorry to see them not finish a race. It's always sad to see when drivers not able to finish a race. That is Jake getting pole position here at Zandvoort. Let's see if we can do a repeat of that when we get to the actual race for the season. So Jake takes P1 pole position in that pink Mercedes. McLaren boys come in P2 and P3 here because of penalties, I assume. So Bespoke takes P2, Trem takes P3, MC takes P4, ENMC takes P5, Deacon takes P6, and Sitkid have to take P7, as Deacon and Sitkid did not get to finish the race. So quite an interesting race session from these guys. Awesome race, good job to them. And good job to Best Spawns on getting driver of the day. He started 5th in this race, so that's pretty interesting. EMC started 6th, got up to 5th. Alright guys, so that is it for the end of this race that the guys at Slydog Racing here had at Sanford. We'll see you again next time for another league race.